Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this Sunday morning. Yes, Sunday morning, and I'm not up with a lark. I had a lie in. I didn't have a lie in. I slept until 9 o'clock here. It's the latest I've slept in for a long time, and it's probably the best sleep I've had in a long, long time. So it's all good in the hood. The missus should be getting out the hospital Monday. Thanks to everyone that has commented on the channel, and I totally believe in the power of positivity. Anyway, the Celtic news. Let's get into the Celtic news because that's what you're here for. The Celtic news this morning is Rangers are shite. No, it isn't. And I noticed that there's one headline I want to go over, and stick around to the end of the video because I want to talk about what has happened to this channel over the course of the season. And I'm just going to get the stats up. It's actually interesting how the growth that this channel has had, and it's all down to use the Celtic family, the Celtic supporters that have in numbers, in complete numbers, have subscribed to the channel. In big numbers, by the way, in big numbers over the last year, and the views. So stick around to the end of that. It might be interesting to know how many views that I've done over the last 365 days, because we're into June now, and yeah, it's been interesting. It's been really interesting, and I'm really proud of this channel. And I think that you'll be amazed with the amount of views that this little tiny Celtic channel has got, and the upsurge in subscribers over the last 365 days. Anyway, Celtic headlines this morning. I noticed one that there's a Celtic hierarchy are in talks with Glasgow City Council over future organised parties. As there's a Scottish Labour MP, who's kind of spat the dummy out by the looks of it. He's kind of spat the dummy out, and he wants these to stop. This is the same. It's the same as what they did at Ibrox, isn't it? It's fucking meltdown at MSPs. And I wouldn't vote Labour for love nor money because they sided with the Tories. And I'm the son of an ex-coal miner, so I've never forgiven Labour, and I never will forgive Labour for signing with the Tories years ago. So that's just my own personal thoughts. You can vote Labour if you want, but I would never vote for them because I'm the son of a miner and a coal miner, and we'll never forgive them for that. But anyway, there's a Scottish Labour MSP who spat the dummy out and said, "Look, Celtic need to stop this." They need to stop having parties now. Back in 2018-19, they said we had to stop partying at Ibrox, so they reduced the allocation. They reduced the allocation at Ibrox down to, it was about 2,500. No, wasn't it? They cut it right down to about 2,500 at one point, and then they cut it down to 7. I can't even remember. It's been that long ago now. But yeah, there's a Scottish Labour MP saying, "Intend when they win the title, the Lodge has asked me to speak." The Lodge, and when Celtic fans descend on the Merchant City, it's costing too much money. The directors of Celtic have went, "Get it up, yous," pretty much. Listen to it. And when you look at it, right, pubs sell alcohol, off licenses sell alcohol, the shops sell alcohol. These are all putting in back into the local economy. People travelling in by bus, by train, whatever. It's all adding to the local economy. Fuel, people are buying fuel to go to Glasgow to go to these parties. It's all adding to the economy. So never mind. And I just think it's funny. That they're now turning to politics. What happened to keep politics out of football? There may be trouble ahead. Get it right up, yous. Anyway, somebody said yesterday in the comments, I've got to laugh at this, you should be more balanced. And you might get some more subscribers. And I want to touch on this slightly. But in the last year, I've gained over 6,500 subscribers. So if you're watching this morning, I don't want to be more balanced, because then you're just like every other Celtic channel out there, and there's a lot of Celtic channel there. There's a lot of competition. So why should I just be the same as everyone else? I'll just be myself. Simple. Anyway, let's move on. There's quite a lot of players that could be leaving Celtic this summer. Brendan Rodgers does have a bloated squad. People are saying, I noticed somebody tried to say that it's a rebuild. It's not a fucking rebuild. There's not a chance. It's getting rid of the deadwood as far as I'm concerned. But there is a good few players. I mean, when you look at Benji Siegrist is now in Australia. Adam Montgomery, it looks like Celtics will look for trying to offload young Adam Montgomery. They don't think he's going to make it. Gustav Lagerbielke will be out on his way out the door. He was told to leave in December. Remember? December. I'm rhyming this morning. And Big Mac Rocky, I think he'll probably still stay. Kobayashi could be away. James McCarthy. Whatever happened to James McCarthy? Is he still at Celtic? Is his contract up yet? I have no idea. Bosun Lawwell, he'll come back into Celtic, and there's loads of other players. I mean, there's Quan. Could he stay at St Mirren, for instance? Is that his level? We only bought him for $1 million. I'm sure we could sell him for about 750,000 at St Mirren just to get him off the books. Marco Tilio, remember him? Marco Tilio, he got injured when he went to Australia, and the downside is Sed Haksabanovic is due back at training in a few weeks' time when they'll reoccur. Anyway, who watched the Champions League last night? Before we talk about Paulo Bernardo. Who watched the Champions League last night? I watched it. It was the first time that I had peace and quiet in a few weeks. And I sat, just me and the dog, and a glass of wine. And sat and watched the Champions League. And I thought it was an okay game. I mean, it finished 2-0. Real Madrid do what Real Madrid do. I thought that that diving little shit should have been sent off for Real Madrid. He should have been sent off. It's just a dive, isn't it? It was just a dive, and he gets the defender booked. But anyway, let's move on. Paulo Bernardo has taken a step out of Jota's book. Remember when Jota was on loan at Celtic, and then he went on a world tour? And it was a case of, where's Jota? Where is Jota? Because he was getting pictured in Dubai, and then in Europe, and in Greece, and fucking Australia, and then America. And it was like, is it really Jota, or was it Jota lookalikes? And then you got people starting to get pictures with Jota lookalikes. Absolute. What? Jesus. Anyway, and Paulo Bernardo's in New York, and he went into the New York Celtic Supporters Club. Absolutely fantastic Celtic Supporters Club in New York. One place that I'd probably like to go if I ever went to America. I have been to New York briefly when I went to Baltimore. Yes. And at the time, Baltimore was the gun capital of the USA. And I remember being told, it's like the bus driver, it's like, don't get off at this stop. Don't get off, you'll be the only white man. I'm like, I'm getting off at this stop. We're walking into town for here. Yeah. And the bus driver's like, oh, you mad Scottish motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, so what? Anyway, I'm all over the place this morning. I'm overjoyed and stress-free for the first time in a while, and you just got to get on with work, because and it's not really work. I love doing this. Anyway, the one and only Paulo Bernardo has been spotted in an American club, and it looks like Celtic are trying to negotiate a deal to buy Paulo Bernardo. But typical Celtic way, they don't think he's worth the money that they had written into the option to buy clause of the contract during the loan. Typical Celtic. Is Paulo Bernardo worth $6 million? People will say probably not. He's not Jota material. We bought Jota for $6 million. But Celtic are trying to negotiate a slightly cheaper deal to get him to Celtic. Reports from Portugal says that Paulo himself is extremely keen on a return to Glasgow on a full-time basis. He wants to get back, and he wants to get back to playing in the Champions League. Let's face it, he's been told that he's not going to have an option to get into the Benfica team. So, of course, he's going to come back to Glasgow. It's as simple as that. So, anyway, just clear my throat. The double winners. Yes, the double winners. We are the double winners. We won the double. And we need to remind ourselves about that. We did win the mighty double, and we're going straight into the Champions League with that big pot of cash. Celtic do have money to burn, and to the zombies that are watching, keep going with your silly comments. Time to get back to Kidley fiddling, and thinking the rage for them is just unreal, isn't it? And there was one comment that said, "I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this." Well, good, and I hope this period of domination will continue, because let's face it, they are absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, garbage. Anyway, Matt O'Reilly. There's been speculation coming out of England that Matt O'Reilly price tag is scaring off English clubs. Yeah, get it up, yous then. and get it right off you. It's all good news for me today. So anyway, Atletico Madrid were, and that's right. It's weird that Atletico Madrid won the cup in Spain, and they were also, I think, one of the only teams to beat Real Madrid in Spain this year. I don't really watch much of the Spanish league. I've kind of stopped watching a lot of football this year, this season. But it was going to be a season when I was going to watch a lot of football, but things in life just gets in the way. Anyway, Matt O'Reilly, the club valuation of over 25 million is seemingly putting prospective buyers off slightly. Anyone that wants to buy Matt O'Reilly will need to fork up a shitload of cash. A lot of people are saying that because Matt O'Reilly is not in the Euros, that he's actually on his way to Celtic. A lot of people are saying, look, because he's not in the Euros, he's not going to leave Celtic. I think either way, it's quids in for Celtic. I think if he stays, we've got a fantastic player on our hands going into the Champions League. I think the Matt O'Reilly one will come down to the later stages of the window. It's not an ideal situation. I think that's why Celtic want to get the Paulo Bernardo deal done. They don't want to lose anyone. We've got to remember that the one and only manager, our leader, our man that said, for those that don't think I should be here. That's a pish accent to Brendan. I'm not trying to. I'm not even going to imitate Brendan because you can't imitate greatness. You know, you can only be great. You can only live to be as good as he is. You can't imitate it. Rangers have tried to imitate it over the years, and they go through manager after manager after manager after manager. It's like one a season. And anyway, there was a Rangers fan yesterday, and I said to him on the comments, he put a smarmy comment, and I said, "Who's your new manager going to be next season?" And his reply was, "Think before you type." And I'm like, no, I was think before you post. And I replied to him, I posted the video. Absolute strange lot. Anyway, the dog's growling because the Spanish are letting off fireworks this morning. Yes, the Spanish let off fireworks at 10 o'clock in the morning because they're absolute goats and it's fiesta season. You know, the whole month of June is just fiestas and all the villages around about us. Anyway, let's see what other Celtic headlines are kicking about this morning. There's not a lot kicking about. There's always speculation about Adam Ida. There's a roadblock as Norwich play hardball over $6 million for the player. It's been suggested that they want this new manager that they've got in. They sacked their manager because they didn't get up to the Premier League. They said that they want to keep Adam Ida for the new manager to make the decision. Brendan Rodgers fixes on Callum's long term. Yeah, that was the Sky News video. I think you've all watched that, where Callum McGregor was talking about, was sitting having a conversation with Brendan Rodgers. And anything else, I'm not up to date with everything because I've kind of been busy this week. But because the missus is on the mend, she's in a ward, everything's good. She doesn't need the major operation that we thought she was going to need just yet. Anyway, if you want to find out more, you'll find that on another channel, as they say. And on that note, I can't wait for Monday. I might actually Sunday tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see. Sunday. What? Not Sunday today. See what I mean? My head's still up my arse slightly. Tomorrow we'll get back to the lives. Yes, the lives will return. The lives will return because hopefully tomorrow is the day that the missus gets out of the hospital, so everything can go back to normal, go back to calmness, and we'll get back to doing some lives and get some fantastic interaction with the channel. Thank you for. Oh, that's what I was going to do before we go anywhere. Yes, the stats of the channel for the last 365 days. Now, I've done it over 365 days because I did go right through the summer last season. We were doing quite a few videos a day during the summer last season. So the views for the season that has just gone past is 5.2 million. Yes, 5.2 million. 5,246,366 views. 5,246,366. Nearly 2.25 million people watched the channel over the space of the last season. The subscribers, this is where it makes me smile because people think, you should have more subscribers than what you've got. Subscribers, we have in the last year, the last 365 days, we've gained 6,519 subscribers. 6,519 519 subscribers over the last year, which is brilliant. So that means when we were at the summer last year, I was only on around about 10,000 subscribers, just over the 10,000 mark. Remember when we broke the 10,000 mark? That was just towards the end of the season. We've managed to add 6,500 on. Let's see if we can add another 6,500 on this season and get us well over the 20,000 mark. Anyway, on that note, thank you to everyone that watches this channel. And I mean that to you that is watching this video right now, especially to you, because it means that if you're around at this end, that's Mrs. Texan. If you're around at this end of the video, you've watched it right to the end, and thank you for that. To everyone else that's watching, thank you as well. Thank you as well. And I mean that. And I totally mean that. To have over 5 million views is just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Over 5 million views and over 6,500 subscribers over the year. And that is just amazing. And on that note, I better get the missus on the text. Have a fantastic day to all you Celtic fans all around the world. I love this. I absolutely love it.